Wisbech, the capital of the Fens. Over the years, this historic town has been negatively represented in the media, and many of its residents seem to share these opinions. In this documentary, we will be exploring why people feel this way and answering the question: is Wisbech really that bad? While doing my own research, I found that the majority of the questioned people's opinions were indeed negative. According to my results, nobody felt safe in their own town. They feel that the town hasn't progressed over the years, and upon being asked to describe Wisbech in one word, I received words such as bad, boring, shabby and remote.
Obviously, Wisbech has got a certain reputation. There's not too much to do for young people around here. The only thing that pops into my head is the cinema. If you look in the town centre, there's barely any shops there. You have to go to either Lynn or Peterborough for decent shops. In the charity shop that I volunteer for, even then I've heard people, even my manager and that, talk about how there's nothing in the town anymore, all the shops are closing. I've even heard my own dad and my granddad saying that this town is not what it used to be.
The people that are born and bred here, they don't seem to like it. But myself personally, I think Wisbech is a fantastic town. I believe it's got a lot of potential to come, and I believe it's got a lot to offer. You do get the resentment from, if I can call them the locals, to the people that have come here to do work. People from other towns seem to think their towns are worse. And the reason is because this is my opinion obviously, but when you're in the town in which you live, you see the faults. When you go somewhere new, you see the positive sides of it. It's always that feeling that the grass is always greener on the other side. But every town has its own issues. I mean, I can probably go, say I went off to Stamford. I think Stamford's a beautiful town. It looks really, really pretty. But the people that live there might have a completely different opinion of it because they see it day in and day out. Every town in this country has an issue with various levels of antisocial behaviour.
Wisbech has obviously had, quite a bit of that in the past. Only a few months ago, there was people our age smashing up shop fronts and that.
One of the biggest issues that we have in this area, we have a police force. It's not sufficiently manned. It just doesn't have enough resource. This town is well known for modern day slavery. There's county lines issues going on. All of those things have to take a priority. And the biggest problem that the police have is how they fit their resources in to match the problems. So people will say there's no point reporting it because the police don't do nothing. Now, I can understand that, and I understand where people come from. What people need to do, if they have elements of what they see as crimes or antisocial behaviour, it doesn't matter. Everything should get reported, because what the police do is it builds up a database. After that being reported so many times, the police will identify it as somewhere where they need to do targeted patrols, so they will go and do it.
I think there's this whole argument, the closing down of youth clubs and that kind of linked to young people being more out of control. I know there are sports clubs, but kind of maybe promote them more.
People always will come across as if there's very limited stuff to do in this town. There are vast amounts of different volunteering groups. There are vast amounts of clubs and activities for people to do in this town. Some people want to get involved in groups that don't involve structure, and my attitude to that is if you think that there's something that the town's lacking, then bring it forward and try and do it yourself and get people to support you. So it's down to each individual to change their way, to stop thinking what is going to happen there, what are people going to do to make this happen, is get on board and make it happen themselves. It can only work if you all work together.
While considering these different opinions, I believe that Wisbech is not that bad. I do think that the town could do with more introductions, such as the railway, more police presence, and more businesses in the town centre. However, Wisbech is a small town in the countryside with little resources, and it relies on every individual in order for the town to flourish.